when you are done with your armature, you are going to want to make sure you bring it up for a grade. And what you are going to find with your armature is there are going to be a couple things that you may need to fix. If you have a gap in your armature and it is a gap that is very structurally, like the walls around it aren't collapsing at all and it's still very sturdy, this is something that you can fix while you are covering your sculpture and you don't need to worry about it right now. If you have a gap that is going to be visually, the walls are going to be moving a lot, you will need to fix that with chipboard or cardboard or whatever you're using before you move on to the covering. The other thing that you might find with your armature is you might find little overhangs, and an overhang that might be almost a finger wide. This is not a big deal, and this can easily be covered while you are covering your armature. However, if you have an overhang that is very big, like this one, you would want to take a box cutter and carefully, or scissors, and carefully cut this off, because this overhang would be very, very noticeable, very obvious. So you would want to be very careful when you cut this, and you would want to carefully cut it off so that you don't have this huge overhang. Another way to fix an overhang, so I have another overhang right here, and another way to fix something like that, this one would be hard to cut off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a piece of tape and I am going to press it down on the top part, and then if I just pull it down to the bottom part here, and then I only press it down on the very edge, and I might want to actually move my tape farther over. So I just get the edge and then bring it down. And then if I only press it down on the very bottom part here, and I don't press up here, then you can see that I smoothed out that overhang that I did see before. So now it's just a smooth surface. So that is another way to fix your overhangs that you may have that you might want to fix so that you can't see that overhang before you start covering. This video is going to be showing you how to wrap your armature like a present. You're not actually going to be wrapping it exactly like a present, but it's going to be similar to how you would wrap a present. So what you want to do first is you want to decide which side is the most important. So for me, this top part would probably be the most important side. So I don't want to start with that. I want to do that side last. So you don't need to do the bottom unless you can see the bottom. So I'm not even going to worry about my bottom. I'm going to start with my side. So I need to take my ruler and I have to measure. I have to say, well, my longest measurement is 27. So I'm going to add an inch or two on. I'm going to say 29. And then I'm going to go over here. It is about 21 inches. So I'm going to, wait, I'm measuring it the wrong way. It is about 15 inches. So I'm going to say 16. So 16 by 29 inches. And then what you need to do with the ruler is you need to go over to our colored paper stand. And you need to get whatever color that you want. You might need to alter your color slightly. That is okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and just get yellow since it's here. And with your ruler, you need to measure. So I know that it is 36 inches long. So I know that that will cover my 29-inch measurement. And then I need about 17 inches. And if you have too much, roll it back and get the amount that you need. Then what you're going to do to tear is you need to start at one end and pulling up slightly. This is where you want all of your pressure to be. Once you get to the other end, you're slowly going to pull up like that, and you should get a clean piece. If it rips, that is okay. So then you're going to bring that back over to where your marquette is, or your armature is. and you're going to lay it on top so that it goes in the middle. Then with a pencil, I'm going to do it with Sharpie so you can see. You are going to want to trace all the way around about an inch or so wider than what you actually have for your armature, so that you have you can cut off the extra. So I'm going to take my scissors. It would be easier to do this if my armature wasn't on top. Okay. And I'm going to cut out the extra paper. And I'm doing a sloppy job because I'm just going to brush through it so that you can see what you need to be doing for this. So once you have trimmed along the edge to see what you need to be doing for your side, for the paper, you should probably start with the edges and the corners. Now, when you do this, we do not want to see any tape. You can tape it, however, if this is going to be a piece that is going to be on top of another piece of paper, I would suggest to not use tape, because then you are going to be able to see the tape, and we don't want to see the tape because it looks really tacky. So what you're going to do is you can start with the edge. I'm actually going to turn it so we can do this side. So, and this is too much paper on this side, I didn't cut it off, but that's okay. You get the idea. And I like to do one kind of long piece first, and then I just tack it up. And then you can go along and you can do another piece, and all the way. Keeping in mind that this would be, you would use tape only if you wouldn't be able to see that tape. If you have something that is going to be a curved edge, you are going to want to go in with your scissors and cut little slits that are going to be about 2 inches thick or so. And you go all the way until you can pick up the rest of it and it won't bend the rest of it. And then what you're going to do is you're simply just going to take a piece of tape and you are going to put it on one of those little flaps and tape it up. And you're going to keep doing that with all these flaps, and it should fold up really nicely so that you cover that whole edge and it's nice and smooth on that edge. And then once you get those corners, then you can go ahead and do the rest of it. Another option for when you cover your armature like a present is you can use glue. You can use a little bit of glue. If you use glue, you can use just the Elmer's glue that I have in a really big white bottle. And if you do that, you are just going to want to use a little bit of glue. So you're going to want the brush that has it's like a black sponge, and you're just going to dip just a teeny corner in it, and you can spread glue out in just really small areas. I guess I need a little bit more here. And you just want to spread it around so that you're not going to see really big globs, so that it gets nice and smooth. And this is going to be, you're going to want to do this if you want your paper to hug or go right up against your cardboard or your chipboard, so that it lays really flat and it is really smooth on your cardboard. And then you're just going to press it down and it will work really nicely. Your other option for glue is to use tacky glue. With tacky glue, you really have to wait until all the glue goes down because it's really thick and you have to wait a while. After you have waited a while, the amount of glue that you need to use for tacky glue is literally hardly anything. So, if this comes out here, You are literally, when you use tacky glue, going to need just very small dots of tacky glue. And then you can also use your brush to smooth that out as well, because if you don't, when you put it down on your armature and it dries, it will leave those dots and you'll be able to see those dots, and that doesn't look very good. So that is how you wrap your armature like a present. At the end of the class period each day, you will probably have messy brushes or some things that you need to clean. So what you need to do is you need to turn on the water, and you don't need to have it going full bore because the sinks are old, they will fill up. You need to squish out the brushes underneath the water until the water turns clear. So until you have all that glue out. It's really important to get all the glue out because otherwise our brushes will get stiff and you won't be able to use them anymore. So once your water starts turning clear, then you can kind of get some of that extra water out. And then there will probably be a paper towel on the side of the sink that you can set it on, or you can put it back in the cart where you got it.